Hi, my name is Kyle. I make multiple six figures for my clients running Meta ads and bidding out the entire funnel process. And personally for myself, I've made over $30,000 in a month. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to do from the very start to the very end to actually set up and have your own Meta ad funnel running that can get you either leads or schedules. Now, this can work for local businesses, this can work for online business, this can work for B2B companies. And this is the main setup I do for every single client I get to working with. So I'm going to show you from literally nothing to exactly what you need to do to get started. And first of all, I'm going to give you a funnel overview. Then we're going to look at creating the funnel. Thirdly, we're going to look at building the meta campaign. Fourth, we're going to look at wiring up the back end, and then I'm going to give you a summary of everything that you need to do. Sweet. Now let's jump into it. Okay, so cool. So as we're here, I'm going to give you a quick funnel overview. I'm drawing with my mouse right now, so it's not going to be the best. We ain't got the pen today, but the funnel overview and just the general idea you need to have when you're looking at this. So with Meta, actually it might be easy to type. With Meta, what you're going to run into is a lot of people are sort of unaware. Now, that just basically means that they're scrolling, they're not really looking to buy right now. I think about it, whenever you're scrolling, you're probably just waiting for like your car to get fixed, or you just sit in the living room, maybe TV's on in the background. So you have to be aware of where people are consuming and going to be seeing this ad and the state of mind they're going to be in. So carrying on, a lot of them are going to be unaware, not in the sense that of their market sophistication level. So there's obviously three levels. There's unaware, there's problem aware, there's solution aware, product aware, and most aware. Just to quickly break them down for you. Unaware means they don't know they have a problem at all. Don't ever try to speak to this market because it's so hard to sell them. There is no point. They are the largest. It's just not worth even trying to speak to them. Problem aware, this is worth speaking to. So for example, imagine someone who has back pain. All they know is that they have back pain, but they don't know any solutions to solve it. Thirdly, it's a solution aware. They know they have a problem and they know there are solutions, or there's a solution to solve it. Fourthly, product aware. That just means that they're aware that your product exists. And fifth is most aware. Those are people who've actually bought your product and experienced the whole thing end to end, so they have complete context of your product. So that's what the different awareness stages are, which a lot of people talk about when they're running ads, because it's important to have that in mind. A lot of the customers you're going to be targeting in this day and age, they're going to be very sophisticated and be aware of other people's solutions. So they're going to be in the solution aware stage, because if they don't know you, that's the most that they can be for your product specifically. Now they might have tried others as well. So they're going to know what they do and don't like. So carrying on, they're going to be in the solution aware stage. And in this video specifically, I want to focus on a coach, so like an online coach, but as like just a mock-up that we're going to be building this campaign for, as if we're building it out for, let's say, a content coach. So we're going to be building out, for example, for a content coach, an entire Meta funnel for them. So now to actually explain the funnel, how it works is this: they're going to see an ad. In this ad, you're going to be saying, I'll get into basically how it works later on, but in this ad, there's multiple different directions, angles that you can have, but largely you want to speak where they're at. That basically just means, let's say they have back pain. You could open with, your back's been hurting for 5 years now. Because when you're scrolling and they see someone instantly connects with them in the first second, they're like, oh, okay, what's this guy talking about? So with the ad that you're making, you need to speak where they're at straight away to get their attention. Those are usually the best hooks that I find. From there, it then goes into explaining and showing proof that you have helped loads of people like them. Literally just saying, this is what we did for this guy. We did this for this guy. This is what we did for this guy. And now this is what we want to do for you. So this can either be a video or an image. Both work really well. And we're going to want to use a mix of both of them in order to get this point across. From there, they then click on the ad. Now, there's two things people do at this point. They either go to a landing page, which is my favorite, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video, or they go to a lead form. Now, with a lead form in Meta, that just basically, when they click on it, you'll see it. It can also fill in their name, email, phone number. The main reason I don't really like to do that is because we're limited on what we can do. And it's not necessarily a quality thing, but I prefer to get booked calls, which through a lead form isn't the most intuitive. Like, it's not that easy to pull off. And I've accidentally filled out lead forms so many times. I didn't even realize. So the intent is much higher on someone who actually clicks onto the landing page, scrolls through it, reads information, and then fills out the form. And that's what the type of audience we want to attract. We don't want to just be paying for people. We don't want to just be paying for people who aren't going to give us money or are interested in what we do, because then Facebook will optimize for that type of person. And we want them to optimize for the one who's actually going to convert. So carrying on, from the landing page, and they fill out a form, then they will then get took to a thank you page. Now on this thank you page, now it might be post them booking a call, post opting in, but on this thank you page, we're basically just going to want to have details of what's to come. I'll explain it more later on as well. And then finally, after they go to the thank you page, obviously they're going to have, in between this process, there'll be basically back-end stuff, which is sending conversion events back to Meta, like schedules, leads, booked calls, so Meta knows to optimize for those type of people. They go to a thank you page, and then at that point, they go to a call / whatever the offer is. So for example, let's say you're running like a free trial. Maybe that once they do this, they get the free trial. But anyways, that is the general outline of the funnel. There's an ad, there's a landing page that they go to, there's back-end stuff that's going on, and then they have a consultation call, or someone calls them like a setter, or they then can claim an offer. That is the general funnel overview. I'm now going to jump to creating the funnel and how I go about doing it. So here we are in Antigravity again. This is where I basically build all my funnels now using Vercel. I've mentioned it tons of times. To show you it, this is the platform that I build it on. So basically you just want to create an account, build it in there. And then I also use a platform called Modal to wire up all the back ends, sometimes Zapier as well. But anyways, back to this. I'm now going to give Claude a prompt of like a mock landing page that I want it to get, I want it to build. And then I'm gonna walk you through exactly how I built it and why I picked those elements. So I'm going to prompt it. Hey Claude, in this video, I'm doing a demonstration. I have a mock client. That mock client is a content coach. In this quick demonstration, I want you to build a landing page using my Vercel API key. From there, and you can just push it onto the Vercel website. It doesn't need a link. It can just be the normal Vercel link. What I want you to include is a pre-headline, which calls out the audience that the content coach is going after, which let's just say is small business owners. Then in the headline, we want to be a very clear promise and one clear promise that we're going to be getting them. And then the sub-headline, I want that to be the risk reversal, something that reduces risk of taking them up on that offer. Then below that, I want you to just put a placeholder image. Usually we'd put a video there called a VSL. And then below that, I want you to put a button, which is a call to action, saying, I'm ready to start. And then below that, I want you to just basically put loads of placeholders of images that would be used as proof. Cool, and then that is what I would say. Now, I would then make sure I'm getting all the images from my clients, getting all the, like in a Google Drive, getting all the proof points, getting copy that we can use, getting like videos we can use, all these elements as a whole. I'd also send across a client ICP doc, and in that they fill out characteristics of their ideal client. So for example, for this content coach, I just had a small business owner, but in an actual doc, it'd be way more specific. What's their revenue level? What's their day-to-day like? What are they worried about? What is their main issue they're trying to solve? For example, a small business, it could just be getting more customers. And that's what the content coach wants to help them do. Get more customers through content. I'll jump back to this once the page is live. Okay, while that's building in the background, I wanted to jump over into Meta. So I'm going to show you how we're going to lay out the campaign. It's very simple. I think it's the most effective way to do it in this day and age. So this is basically my like spare ad account that I have that I just use for mock-ups and designs and like just showing things off. So we're going to choose leads. You're never going to choose the other ones. You're going to use engagement for a certain campaign, but I'm not covering this. This is like a pure direct response video. So I'm just going to focus on leads. And you're probably going to do leads 9 times out of 10. You might do sales if you're doing a low ticket product. where people are just buying straight away, or you're doing like Shopify store drop shipping. But again, this is for like coaches, B2B companies who want leads or schedules. So we're going for leads. Continue, leave that as auction. From here, you're going to give it a name based off the way I like to do it. So I put RealThrive because that's the obviously company name. From there, I'll then do that little line, and I will call it something based off the date and the main thing we're trying. So if the date's like, I think it's the 7th of August today, and then I might say like new landing page if we're testing a new landing page. And then from there, going down, I'd recommend to at least have 100 a day, or $100, £100. That's the best I found. Any more is a good idea as well. Any less, it's going to take so much longer. Because the way I like to view it is this: if your cost to acquire a customer is £300, if you spend £50 a day, it's going to take you 6 days. You spend 100, it's going to take you 3 days. You spend 300, you get one that day. So things genuinely cost the same amount. It's just more of a cash flow thing, as in how quickly do you want to spend that money. And when you're starting out, you should probably spend less of it, so you're not wasting budget testing as much. But I always start on 100 a day, because once you know where you're going, it's very easy to get rolling. You might want to select this if you're doing something like housing or real estate, but we won't need to for the content coach. But yeah, that's all you need to do on this first page. From there, you go to the new leads ad set. Now, in this ad set, what I like to call it is whatever the conversion event is. So I'll either call it schedules or I'll call it leads. Now, this is the difference. A lead is someone who you just get contact information off. They don't book a call. You just get like a name and email. It's just someone you can contact. That's what a lead is. An engaged lead is someone who shows interest in your product and you have their contact information so you can contact them. So for example, let's say you post something on social media and someone, you have a main chat set up and they comment the keyword and then you send them a message. That's an engaged lead. If you buy a cold email list, that's just a lead because they didn't actually opt in for that. Now we're gonna jump off instant forms and we're gonna go to websites. Big thing as well, Meta will try to say to you tons of times, do this, do this, do this. You want to basically turn off nearly everything Meta does because it's just rubbish. Sweet. So then we have the website. And you want to maximize the number of leads because you won't have enough data, most likely, to do these other ones here. Qualified leads obviously is best and value of conversions is the best, but you probably won't have the data for that. And if you can't get enough leads, then you might want to optimize for link clicks or landing page views or just something lower down in the funnel if your daily budget isn't getting you enough leads. From there, you'd want to create your data set. Now, the data set is the pixel, okay? Now I'm going to connect one right now, but yeah, you literally just click it here and you add it. From there, cost per result goal, you can leave that, you can leave that. Show more options, you can leave all this as well. Dynamic creative needs to be off. Then what I like to do, start it the next morning at around 7:30 a.m. This actually depends on when you can engage with customers. If you're running a book a call funnel, so that just means that people click onto the landing page and then look to book a call. Leave that running all day, 24 hours. But if you have a very high budget and you're having people call up people as soon as they opt in, maybe you're only going to want to run these ads for a certain time, like 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. at night. Because if people come through it outside of those hours, you wouldn't call them anyway. So sometimes some people don't want it running them, but I run it usually for all day, 24 hours of a day, every single day. Don't set an end date. Make it start the next day in the morning. Then in here, you can leave all this blank. Sometimes we have a lookalike audience, but honestly, if you're just starting out, the only thing you want to choose is a country that you're in. If you're doing local targeting, obviously you can set a pin down, choose an area and set a radius. But personally, you can just leave that as United Kingdom. This generally can all be fine. Another thing you might want to do is change the gender or the age. I personally, honestly, would just leave it as well, because in this day and age, the creative does the bulk of the targeting. Carrying on, you can leave that as optional. And then placements, again, just leave that as well. Because again, basically Facebook will end up picking the right placement, so you don't have to worry about that. Then on the lead ad, what I like to call it is the type of creative and then just the number it is. So like video 1, or I'll call it image 1, just something like that. From there, I then pick the Facebook page and the Instagram page, which I'll do now. There we go. So that's my page there, obviously Instagram as well. And just use my Threads account. From there, we're then going to select an image. That can stay on. You're going to set up the website URL, browser add-ons as none, and yeah, I'll show you that now. So for website URL, we're just going to put in, I'm just going to put in my website, for example. Then from there, we're going to set up creative. We're going to press image add. For example, this one we use. So I will pick the square one, which is just a 1x1, and then I'll also have a vertical format as well that I run as well at the same time. Horizontal I just leave because it's a placement that doesn't really get much clicks anyways. So I'll build out 2 of these creatives that are like this. This is for image ad. Again, very similar, just have a photo of yourself with some text, works well, or even just text on the screen works well too. Then we're going to go to next, and then this is where you put in your primary text. Now, how I like to write this is just say, talk about the things people are getting. So talk about removing bad stuff, adding good stuff, and that's basically what you want to do. So if you're a content coach in this example, what I would fill in is at the top you could have the offer saying get your next 10 customers in 120 days. Then you can have proof points and stuff like that. You can say here's what Dan did, this was the position he was in, here's where we got him to, and basically you can walk through a story of where they started and where they got to, and then just have a call to action. Really simple. Most people don't even read the primary text, you don't have to worry about it too much. Headline, again, just reiterate your promise. For example, like get 10 customers in the next 120 days. Like, I'm not saying this is the best offer, I'm just saying. In the description, what's very common is people to use stars, just 5 stars, something like that. And then call to action, you want it to always be learn more. Then press next. Then don't do any of this, just press done, skip that. Then it kicked me out straight away, because it wants me to have in all this Advantage Plus stuff. So you want to press edit and you want to remove it off. I swear to God, if you're an ads with music that Facebook made, you are finished. Genuinely you're finished. So make sure you turn literally everything on here off. Genuinely turn it all off. Then press save in the bottom right. Carrying on, optimize text per person, you can turn that on. I'd also recommend having 5 different primary text and 5 headlines. And then Meta will test that and see which is the best itself. You want that to be off and that to be off. With a video, you can do the exact same thing, but you probably won't have a square format and a vertical. You probably just have a vertical format, which is what I'd recommend because you want to optimize it for Reels. You're doing this exact same thing. And then what you're going to want to do is duplicate it 20 times. So first of all, if you're doing images, okay, let's say you're having 15 images and 15 videos. You're going to set up one properly the first time, then you press duplicate. You want to turn that tick off. You don't want to use Advantage Plus Creative. And then from there, you want to keep the text the same, headline the same. All you're going to do is go through each one now and just change the media. That is it, just change the image. Everything else stays the same, and that's all good. And then you're going to then make a new creative. You're going to duplicate one of the images, make the first video ad, and then duplicate that 15 times or 10 times, depending on how many videos you have. That is exactly how I set up the meta ad campaigns, and I think that has been the most successful. Another popular strategy is one ad set, one ad. So you can test that as well. You can have 2 campaigns, one which is doing this, which has 20, 30 creatives in, and one which is 1 campaign, 1 ad set, 1 ad. Those are 2 things you can do right now. But yeah, very simple to set this up, and this is how you go about doing it. The main thing now is the creative. You want to have great creative that attracts the people you want and speaks exactly to your ICP. That is the main thing you'll be looking for. So yeah, that is how you would set it up. And again, how you talk about it all and how you select everything. Make sure to remove all this shit that meta adds as well. Sweet, that's that. We are now going to jump over to the landing page. So just to quickly show you this, actually, this is one of my other clients' ad accounts. I wanted to just show you the pixel and what that looks like, so it's really clear. As you can see here, the naming format. So yeah, we have a data set. So we have a data set and we have a lead as well. And that's what it looks like. You can either choose lead or schedule, again, depending on what you're going after in this campaign. So the mock landing page is now finished. I'm going to walk you through this all. So I would spend a lot more time designing this page, making sure it matches the client criteria, adding some more cool elements in. But just for the sake of this, the purpose of this video, I wanted to give you just a demonstration that's easy to look at and just quick. So they're called red kite content. It's just like a random brand I just made up. So pre-headline. This is just basically calling out the ICP, exactly who your offer is for. For small business owners who post every week and hear nothing back, for example. Then in the main headline, you're going to say what your offer is, get your next 10 customers in 120 days. And in the subheadline, you're going to have your risk reversal or something that gives them reassurance or proof points. And It's just to basically give more weight to that main headline and make them believe it more. Then you'd have a VSL. Now in this VSL, I'm not going to, a VSL is a completely different video to talk about, but in there you'd want to have basically a lot of proof and explanation of how your offer works. Then they click I'm ready to start. Now there's two things I usually do. Either on this page, I'll have Typeform integrated with Calendly. So you have Typeform where you get their first name and maybe email and phone number. They fill out that and then it gets them to a Calendly where they can book right there. You want booking to be on the same page because if I'm pressing this, it would then come up to a pop-up ideally. Yeah, I don't think it'll do anything here, but it would then come up to at least a pop-up so that they are booking on this page, because that change to a new page can have a huge amount of drop-off, and then what you'll end up seeing is a lot of qualified leads just going out the door. Anyways, below that, we would then have maybe some proof points for logos. Then we could explain, then we have a sort of an explanation of what happens if you do nothing, what happens if you do something. Again, a very common thing. Sometimes deals levitate and float. Again, if I was building this out, I'd put, if I was building this out probably for a client, I'd spend a lot more time on it. But this just as an example that I wanted to get quick for you guys. Then more proof, basically showing what it's like for customers. More proof as well, more proof, and more proof. That's what I do. Just different ways of showing proof. And that is what makes people believe it the most, because the VSL will do a lot of the explaining, and that's what we want them to watch. And then when they click that button, there'll be a pop-up, or it'll be integrated with Calendly, Typeform integrated with Calendly, where you get their information there. So yeah, I hope that explains the landing page for you. I think I made it pretty clear. You basically just want a lot of proof and how to go about building it. Now, we're going to do a wiring up of the back end. I'm going to walk you through what that would look like. Also, to show you what a thank you page would look like, I'm going to show you one of my clients. Okay, so I forgot to put it out for Red Guy, but this is basically the best explanation of what a good thank you page looks like. So watch this short video. Here in this video, we're going to be talking about exactly what they're going to be getting once they book a call, once they claim your offer, or what's to come next after giving us their information. Then we say confirm your call and accept the calendar invite, which will be in their inbox. Then this is one of the most important parts. You want to have about 9 videos answering commonly asked questions. Now, each of these are basically like 1-2 minutes long. As you can see here, some are even like 25 seconds, right? Basically just answering on calls what you get asked so often, because then this provides people with a lot of reassurance that they're doing the right action. And then when they jump on, all they're going to do is say, oh, cool, I got all my answers. Let's just do it. How can we go about paying? And that's what the conversation is about. And you want to have more proof and testimonials on there as well. But yeah, really simple for a thank you page. That's all you need. And yeah, now let's get up to wiring the back end. I'm going to show you on Miro how that sort of works. Okay, so here we are on Miro, right? Now this all depends on the CRM you're using. So a CRM, that is basically a platform where you hold your leads and customers, okay? Leads and customers. I'm not going to write that with a mouse, take forever. But this is where you hold your leads and customers. There's things like Go High Level, people use Airtable, people use HubSpot, ClickFunnels. There's so many different ones, and they all have a different mechanism and use case. So it's hard to explain for each one what you want to occur, but I'm just going to give you a general overview of what you want to be seeing. First of all, when people opt into the form, okay, on this page that you have, the details that they fill in are going to be want to send back to Meta first by the pixel. So inside of the Meta Events Manager, basically you can create a data set, go into the pixel, and you can set it up automatically. And then you basically just click the button, it takes you to a page, it's called the Event Setup tool. It'll take you to a page where you just click opt in, and that's signified as a lead. Or people land on your thank you page can be signified as a lead. That's one of the ways to do it. The second way to do it, which I prefer much more, is just the conversion API. The reason is because since Apple's update a while back now, this is blocked on some iOS devices. So you know when you go into an app and says, do you want to be tracked? And you say no. That basically means the pixel wouldn't fire. So that means you wouldn't be tracked as an event. So I set up Conversions API to get around that. Now that's different for every different system. You can set it up using modal automatically, so it's pulled from the opt-in and pushes it straight into Meta. You can set it up through Zapier, Make, but I'm just going to explain exactly what you need. So You want to have a trigger, essentially, which is the opt-in. From there, it then goes to basically a Facebook block or a meta block, which is sending a lead event. Now, this could also be a schedule, but that's just the main thing. Now, I'm going to write this out because this will take a while. So obviously, you're going to want to send back the name, the email, phone if you asked for it. I don't always ask for phone. Event ID, click ID, it's like called the Facebook click ID. Facebook click ID. If you have it, IP address, sometimes it picks it up. The user, agent, browser, agent as well. Yeah, in the platform, it should be able to tell you all this stuff. But yeah, if you send all these events back, it basically means your event match quality score will be higher. And that's what you want. It means Facebook is really, really confident this person came through your ad, and it will be able to tell you which specific ad it came from. Like usually it's like UTM source as well be added, UTM medium. So these could be hidden fields on your form, which are picked up when people click on your ad. Because in the UTM parameters, which I'll show you now. So for example, here in the UTM parameters, we can have the UTM medium, UTM source, that type of thing. But yeah, as you can see for Fuller, if we make, obviously that was like loads of copy there. So jumping back now. This is the type of stuff you want to get sent back to Meta via a automation whenever someone opts in, so they're tracked correctly. And a big issue I run into a lot is people are using Conversion API and the pixel, but they aren't sending the event ID back or the same one, which means they get counted twice. So if someone opts in, it says 2 instead of 1. And if you expand that out enough, it ruins all your data and tracking. So then I would then sync all this up to a dashboard, so then it's really easy to see. Whew! So that's a big video. Anyways, to summarize, because that is how I wanted to finish this. To summarize everything that I walked you through here today, we had the funnel overview. I explained to you exactly how the funnel works, right? A meta ad direct response funnel. I walked you through exactly what building the meta campaign looks like, showed you what you need to do to wire up the back end, basically using a platform like Modal, Zapier, then sending from the form, sending the events back to Meta and the specific events you need. And obviously this is the summary here today. So this is what I set up for my clients day in and day out. And if you get stuck at any point, you can Google it as well. So yeah, or ask Claude to help you with it as well. So yeah, confident you can do this, guys. All right.